Hello everyone and welcome back to Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. I am Ziyal, and we have ourselves some things to do. We're going to go free Leandra from the ice with the help of the fire elemental Sua, the supreme fire elemental. I was going to go talk to, you know what, you don't have, why is not a Val?
If there is anything I can do to help you slay all Immaculates, pray state it.
Well, okay, never mind. There's nothing new to say to me. So let it be said, that was all he had to say. So anyway, moving ahead, I'm just kind of walking back for some strange reason. Yeah, I opened up that chest and yeah, I already did all this stuff. But yeah, walking, taking the scenic path, enjoying the winter while it's here. Because from here on, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be seeing snow. And I don't know, it snowed once in my area. Heck, some of you people probably never have even seen snow. That's what it was like for me when, well, I'd seen snow when I was, like, young, but I lived a lot of my life in Florida. So yeah, snow was this mysterious thing. Anyway, so we're gonna enter through the castle here, just because the first thing, of course, I want to check is nothing related to the plot, but more the acquisition of loot. It was cold out there. Because I'm thinking that Seamus should be able to open up this here door with his magic voice. I am Seamus of the Seamus clan. Speak the spell before the barrier of the Winter King. This incantation is called the spirits of Rome ferry away from their stations may pass freely.
With this incantation, we can pass the force field that bars the way into the castle.
High time for an audience with King Boreas, I say.
Already did it. It doesn't open this one? Ah. Alright. Fine. Do it your way. Maybe come back afterwards? Ibrahim prison. We're in the clink, yo. We're in the clink. Clink, clink is a fun word to say. Don't go that way, it's not so good. There's that poor guy who's just like, I don't know, somehow he got traveled here from the future. I don't know what happened to that poor guy. Is Catmandu here? Yeah, he sure is. He's everywhere, man. He's like the anti-Visa.
I've tried my very best, and will try and try anew. But so far, this damnable ice scoffs at my every effort.
As it should, Catmandu. Good news. A powerful fire elemental, King Sua, has agreed to help set Icara free.
Sua, you say? But that is wonderful. My faith in you as ever well placed. At your leisure, Source Hunter. Okay. Though for Icara's sake, we ought not to dilly-dally too long. The White Witch is quickly growing a whiter shade of pale indeed.
Alright. Yep. Good talk. Yeah.
I don't know how long she'll last within that ice. There must be a way.
Who got the stone? Must have been somebody else who was closest to him at the time. I do not remember.
I don't know how long she'll last within that ice.
Oh, I heard you.
There must be a way.
Got it. Hey!
This is your White Witch, then. And you're sure you want to free her, are you? Even our mad Boreas wouldn't have wasted such precious ice on a petty criminal. Whatever she did to find herself here must have been rather severe indeed.
I don't know, bad genetics, or I don't know.
But
do it.
I am in your debt, and I would be remiss not to honor your request. Shield your eyes, Source Hunter. To melt ice of this refinement, I'll need to summon an equally rare flame.
Do not stare directly at the screen. Yeah. Oh, she blew up.
Gods, it's colder than a witch's teat. How very callous of Leandra to entower her only sister in a barren tundra for eternity.
Yep.
Icara, you're all right? The ice, King Boreas, and your sister. What a frigid hell you've endured.
And yet not even a frigid hell like this could induce you to put on a shirt, could it, Ahu? My old friend. Surely I have you to thank for my salvation.
Burn!
That honor goes to a pair of talented source hunters, actually. If not for their efforts, I'd be quite uselessly prowling around your prison still.
Yeah, cat stuff.
Then perhaps I ought to address my savior directly. Source Hunter, is that the masquerade?
Yeah?
Well, what a motley crew we are. Isn't there somewhere a bit warmer we might discuss matters?
What do you mean by masquerade? We're members of the Order of Source Hunters, and we take things for evidence.
Ah, yes, of course, of course. Do pardon me. I didn't mean to imply you were very clearly eternal beings in the guise of minor mortals. Not at all. Please, let's do carry on.
I like her already. Are you the White Witch?
Oh, yes, I suppose I am. But I do prefer my given name. Icara, that is. Charmed.
Nice to meet ya.
But I hope I haven't disappointed my own hero. Am I just as white and witchy as you'd hoped?
You said accused of murdering the Sicilian High Council. We're taking you in.
I take no pleasure in the memory of that night. The thought of hurting anyone or anything is abhorrent to me. But in this case, I judged it necessary. If you've come this far, I trust you've learned that the Counselor was far from a humble civil servant. This doesn't excuse my behavior, but perhaps it can help to explain it.
Yeah, what happened the night of Jake's murder?
It's a sordid story, to be perfectly frank. Two sisters, a philanderous, treacherous wizard, death and mayhem. Are you sure you're interested in such things?
Yeah, like a telenovela.
The sparkle in your eye belies your better nature, Source Hunter. Now I know that it is your duty to get to the heart of this. And, in truth, the events of that night were but one part of a larger and much darker matter. A matter in which I'll dare to beg your assistance before we're through with one another.
Now that terrible night.
Flashback.
One night, as I slept, I had a sudden revelation. No dream, but a vision. My sister Leandra and my lover Zandalor. I didn't understand, but I recognized their location. Ziyal's King Crab Inn. I arrived and looked through their window, but inside, everything was wrong. Leandra had fled, and Counselor Jake stood over the wizard, a knife in his hand and hate in his eyes. As I watched, he drove the dagger deep into Zandalor's heart, and I was too late to stop him. In that moment, I broke. I saw before me not a man, not even a beast, but evil incarnate. And I used Source to slay him. On the floor lay Zandalor. In my hands, I held Jake's life force. I had sworn never to use Source, but I couldn't walk away. And so I did the unthinkable. I used the Counselor's life to save Zandalor's. He was alive, but only just. Betrayal. Murder. Source. We were all of us guilty now.
If you were any other Source Hunter, I suppose you'd strike me down where I stand after that terrible admission. Fortunately for us both, you are no other Source Hunter.
That was pretty awesome. That cutscene's new to my recollection. Cool. Tell me more about Leandra.
My own little sister, if you can imagine it. She was always the more ambitious, the more exacting of us, and she had no fear of the darkness that so often accompanies Source. Her collusion with King Boreas in imprisoning me here confirms my worst fears. She is planning something far greater than I could have anticipated. For this reason, and with a heavy heart, I must ask you, Source Hunter, to find out how far exactly Leandra has become entwined in the dark arts.
Okay, how'd you become be imprisoned here?
First things first, Source Hunter. For my freedom, I owe you every imaginable thanks. My soul had withered in this prison, and I might not have survived much longer without your help. Now, about the culprits. My corrupted sister and the mad Winter King. When I realized exactly where, and to whom Leandra was consigning me, I was certain I'd never enjoy the sun's warmth again. But neither she nor I anticipated the Source Hunter. That was her mistake, and my blessing. I never would have imagined Leandra capable of dealing with the likes of Boreas, but she has changed into someone I hardly recognize anymore.
I'll take my leave, I guess.
I hate to extend my own invitation, Source Hunter, but I believe I ought to accompany you to Zigzax's hideout. Presumptuous, yes, but I'd recognize the imp's essence just about anywhere.
Oh, I free you from prison, now you want to crash in my place. This implicates us both.
Both he and you must learn more about the darkness that has extended itself into our dearest Rivellon. And I believe I know where we must begin.
At the beginning.
Ah, but unless that's a bear flailing through the threads of time, I do believe Master Zigzax is on his way. Make way, Source Hunter, landing in 3, 2...
Hunters, you've done it! Icara is free! Ah, what good it does my impish heart to see her safe and bright as ever!
Yeah.
We have much to discuss. Come one and all to the end of time. A spot of something warm and the soft glow of the tapestry ought to do us all a bit of good,
Hmm?
Icara. Now, if we're done playing hide and seek, let's not waste a jot more time. Oh, I just can't wait to pick your every synapse.
After you, Master Zigzax.
Okie dokie. Seamus was not taken in. All right, so I guess we'll go back by ourselves then. Whatever, jerks.
We've solved the murder and caught the culprit, yet this case feels anything but closed.
More does crime than simple fact.
There's more to this crime than simple fact. Killing a killer is hardly the same as killing an innocent, after all.
We'll have to learn more before we can assess Icara's true guilt in this matter. Fortunately, she seems quite eager to tell us more about this entire dark affair.
Some cool cutscenes, right? Yeah, romantic. So, anyway, more plot exposition awaits us. Hurrah! I am just briefly gonna just check because I'm gonna have to learn how this opens if I don't. This thing here before I go to the end of time. Hey, is it open now? Looks like it might be open now. Awesome. Okay, so before we get to our next plot exposition dump, not dump as in bad, just, you know, it's a lot of stuff and perhaps we can do something else before we do that. What? No! You seem like you were gone. Why? Why must you taunt me so? Alright, are you wearing that darned amulet? Is she wearing it? She is. Does it have to be on a certain person, maybe? Let's try putting on Seamus. Waiting in the circle. Supposed to wait or something. Yeah, there's this. See, I remember getting in here back when. I just don't recall how I did so. Yeah, alright. Well, it didn't work. This case is over. So, it looks like we're going back to Plotland. Yeah, I'll look up in between episodes, but if someone else in the comments, I might have mentioned it before. If you know what's up, give a shout. Shout. Let it all out. These are the things I can do without, come on. I'm talking to y'all. Alright, let's just get ourselves going. To the end of time. Say this so
Bless
casually.
the seven, I am restored.
Okay. let's find out more about the plots. Plot. Now, everyone's got a chair. And they're all sitting down. Hi. How's it going? I think we'll talk to her.
Why, I see Master Zigzags has upgraded from his shabby little hut at the edge of the hour. From the fairy dimension to the, Space-Time Weaver Hunter Imp One. What do you call this place again?
That sounds like a great name. Space-Time Weaver Hunter Imp One.
Ha! Is that so? It seems I have my share to learn about the magical world yet. The end of time. Well, suddenly your association with Master Zigzags makes sense. Well, I must say, it's no small relief to find myself in a safe haven among such allies.
Alright, from the beginning, how does Sister involve the dire happenings around Rulon?
I believe the answer to that begins centuries ago, when your order was still cutting down so-called dark magicians by the dozens. Ours was a family of born sorcerers, you see. It was in our blood to interact with Source. But our parents were determined to curb the power within us. Still, their meekness wouldn't save them from the Source Hunters.
So you mean some of our own order killed your parents, huh?
They came on a quiet morning. My mother was wild with fright and commanded me to hide myself and Leandra outside, among the trees. Even at that young age, we knew not to question her. We climbed high into the branches of a nearby tree, and before we could look away, our parents were cut down without ceremony before our door. The Source Hunters sauntered away, wiping their blades with pride. 2 more sorcerers dead, a job well done.
Hear, hear.
From that moment on, everything was different. As we trembled in that tree, our fear and our desperation were so potent that the magic within us began to weave together. Our souls became forged together, our bond unbreakable. We would survive, thrive even, within those woods, never speaking to outsiders. Our soul forge meant that if one of us were to die, the other would instantly perish too. We kept one another close. Leandra's capacity was enormous. Source didn't frighten her, and she delved into that dark well with terrible regularity. I did my best to guide her, but she fast outgrew my admonitions.
So tell me what happened between you.
My sister and I were mired in a solitary existence, witches among the trees when Zandalore came. Leandra especially couldn't leave him be. He was a feast of information, and she wouldn't rest until she'd absorbed every bit of knowledge he offered. Their days were spent on charms, hexes, and the like. At night, Leandra would wander off to practice what she'd learned, and Zandalore and I would settle into our quiet tasks, side by side. We were a content trio, the 3 of us, but base impulse would undo us.
So, what do you mean by base impulse?
As you know, Leandra and I were soul-forged. This offered us a window into one another's souls. I knew Leandra had developed feelings for Zandalore, and she knew I had too. But it was me to whom he confessed his love. Those quiet evenings together had captured his heart, as they had mine. Her heart broke the moment we announced our new attachment, and I felt the pain of it as sharply as a knife. She fled, without a word, and I didn't see her for 2 terrible years. My connection to her, our soul forge, grew weaker. It was as though some third entity, a parasite, were atop our souls, sucking the strength from it day by day.
Okay, then you are a sorcerer.
I am, but there is more to our kind than they teach at your academy. Source isn't only blood and madness. It's like lightning, an exquisite current of great power. We sorcerers are like metal steeples. Source is drawn to us and it flows through us. But what so many fail to understand is that Source can be controlled. The power drunk through history have abused it, and all the world's sorcerers have borne terrible consequences.
What consequences do you mean?
Tell me, Source Hunter, in all your hours studying the arcane arts, did your great masters ever suggest that perhaps not all sorcerers were evil?
Back in my day, it was black and white. If you did bad magic, you were baddie. And we slay baddies.
Did you ever hear, even once, that some of us were weak and gentle? That we could be simple forest folk healing the sick and frozen each winter?
No. But I don't really remember the academy.
No. I doubt also that they'd mention that one day this hunt of yours would birth a broken soul powerful enough to inch all of Rivellon toward oblivion.
So you're throwing this back at us, huh?
No. No, that would be going too far, and eschewing my own responsibility. I believe Leandra's long fall down did begin at the hands of some of your own order, but it was I who sparked all of this.
Couldn't share, huh? No redeeming your sister.
I believe that our soul forge has been damaged. By what? I can only guess. The fraying of the bond between us has left Leandra adrift in a well of sorrow she truly believes will never end. What she needs is a hand. My hand, out of this abyss. If our soul forge is repaired, I am certain she'll cease blazing this path of destruction.
Maybe. So, let's discuss the Soul Forge.
I cannot condone the terrible things she's done, but I can seek to understand them. With our soul forge in such tatters, I believe Leandra is adrift in the not at all inconsiderable sorrows of our lives. What's more, I sense a terrible force bearing down upon the bond between us. It is hungry, and it consumes ever more of Leandra's mind and soul. I cannot say exactly what this force might be, but I'm certain it's both driving me out and driving Leandra on. If I could only repair the forge, I'm certain she'd put a stop to this madness.
So what's next? How do we stop?
We've a single order of business first and foremost. Leandra is gathering an army, and I fear we'll have to get through it if we wish to find her. But first, we must learn more about Leandra's plans. How many of these so-called Immaculates does she have in her palm, and to what end is she directing them?
Oh, no.
Your journey must begin in the Lacula mines, where she has been accumulating materials and manpower for a purpose as yet unknown. The way will be dangerous. Her allies are growing more powerful and numerous by the minute, but we must discover exactly what Leandra is planning and why.
So what about infiltrating the mines?
A soul forge comes with its own benefits, Source Hunter. Though our connection has weakened, I still see the occasional vision of Leandra's doings, the pangs of her deepest felt emotions, and flashes of her triumphs. One vision. I had thought it was only a nightmare, but now I see it was something much worse. Leandra is collecting materials, precisely what, I cannot say, and is hard at work shaping them into something sinister. Her frustrations are rivaled only by her mirth. I can see she's growing closer and closer to achieving something dire. You must make your way deep into the mines to see exactly what she's planning.
Alright, the mines.
The way may be treacherous, but you must get inside. I fear my sister is doing something dreadful so far from the light of day.
Okay. Excuse me.
I have seen the void, and it haunts
Yeah, talk
me.
about the void some.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
So I told about the Zandalore and this. No idea the stranger thing could have been. Yeah, you didn't tell us any of that, huh?
Ah, yes, that was a small fib on my part, I'm afraid. Zandalore is known as the Keeper of the Source, after all. And I didn't know how Source Hunters would react to my association with such a colorful character.
Would have struck you down and your stupid cat, too. Self. Shut up. Argue. Hi, Weaver.
How might I serve our mission?
So, I met her in the Realm Hyberrian. She's a Starstone, Great Bloodstone.
Leandra. She desires to be Mother of the Void, but you have the power to undo her born-in-blood litter. Though they be baptized in blood, you can cleanse the Starstones still, and use them to thwart their grim queen.
Alright. What about you?
Good
What's that?
to see you on the shelter plane.
What's up?
Home away from home, is it not?
They can update you. Yeah. Same thing I said to her.
Of all the wicked things, The one substance that can stand in the way of the void, and she's turning it into vessels of blight.
Blight.
You'll have to redouble your efforts, my friend. You'll have to find more starstones before she does, and forestall her insidious distortions.
Okay. So, we found out quite a bit. Hyberheim, not Hyberheim, has been saved, sorta. And we ourselves are moving on. We're actually getting pretty close to the next level up, too, which is just swell, let me tell you. So there's lots of kind of things going on. Let's check the old quest log. Hello, log of quest. Investigating the mines becomes a lot more important now, it seems like. The Wishing Brothers. See, that's the thing. Spell guarded by the king. Yeah, see, I gotta figure out how to do that. I'll have to figure that out between, like, how to get the Wishing Well brothers together. Yeah, general story, I don't know. What's Naked Truth? Oh, yeah. We'll find out more about that in the mines. Goblin Trouble. I do believe that Goblin Trouble might be the next place to kind of head, because we want to make sure we're not over-leveling content too hard, because I'm pretty sure the things I saw there were level 12, I believe. Yep, something about that. Infiltrating the Immaculates, the Initiation. Yeah, we can get ourselves with the Immaculates. Yay. We can find out more here. Source Hunter's Journey. Yep, lots of stuff there. A Forge of Souls. Way to repair the Soul Forge for her. Okay, so we got a few things to do. I think I'll just get out of the way one of the other things, plus it'll give me a little bit of the old experience before we move on to perhaps hunting down... What's everyone? Hunting down this, and that is passing the Immaculate's initiation test, which is actually really easy to do. Off camera, I kind of just Christmas treed it and realized I knew the answers, or you know, because it's not too hard. It's like
Immaculate, I want to be.
Yeah, that's great.
The lost will
Hush,
flow.
quiet.
The goddess is the word.
Aye.
Then it shall be my pleasure. Do you hold it to be blessed be your willing spirit. We commence.
We commence.
Premise the first. In honor of the goddess, that which was stellar must become sanguine. Correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Agreed. That is correct.
Premise the second. The blood of the greater should be used in service of the lesser, so that balance may be achieved. Correct?
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
Yes, that is incorrect.
Premise the third. Only those who have partaken in the spilling of blood and thereby created the stone that lives, the stone soaked with blood, may be called an immaculate. Correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Agreed. That is correct.
Most gratifying. Oh yes, most exemplary indeed. You have understood the words of the goddess, and I deem you worthy of her true test, of the true trial that shall make you an immaculate.
Yay!
The conduit, yes. She, the most exalted of all, second. We are the chosen ones of the goddess.
See if there's
Is the
anything
few,
new.
the proud, the
True
enlightened.
trial you spoke
There,
of.
to become an immaculate, you must experience both the goddess's bane and her boon. Leave Silver Glen and take the western path. Follow it to where the winds howl and a great skull looms within the rocks. There you will find it, the hollow and the true trial within. Immaculate guards bar the way, but tell them you have my blessing and they shall let you pass. But take utmost care. The road is beset with horrors, and your mettle will be truly tested before you've even set foot within the goddess's trial. You've got the look of one tested and ready for such a challenge. I bid thee good luck.
Thanks, Loik. Alright, so just a little bit of experience there, plus what that opens up is pretty much going this way, the mines and all this sort of stuff, the Immaculate Trials, etc. That is what opens up by going this way. Now, those guys were like level 13 or so, and Now, you could, I presumably you might be able to skip certain things, but I do know that we still have the goblins to take care of, so what is the closest waypoint to over there? Gosh, is that it, really? Maybe that is. But anyway, point is that we'll be heading over to this area, the Troll Cave entrance, which I believe is going to lead around here as well to some goblins that were all around the proper level. And beyond that, I'm going to make sure I check offline, / if anyone's left any comments, to figure out the rest of getting through Hyberheim and the rest of the treasures and things we can pick up. Also, a little bit of crafting, a couple things to do in between episodes, all that sort of good junk. So if you enjoyed this episode, thank you very much for watching. It is most appreciated. Drop a like, it helps out. Sub for more, which at this point I always question why I say that when there's like 80 episodes now. Anyhow, it's truly a pleasure to put these things out, and I hope everyone's having a good holiday season. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.